AFC South. Let's start out with top dogs.
The Houston Texans.
Start out with the top dogs, the Tennessee Titans.
Really? You got them as the top dogs?
Oh, no. Okay. I mean, aren't we going to go and talk about each team before we get into predictions?
Yeah, but I mean, why are they your top dogs?
Because they won the division last year.
Guess that's fair.
And the AFC. Tennessee, I see a regression this year. I don't think they got any better in the offseason. They lost A.J. Brown. They added some QB controversy with Malik Willis. They do still have Derrick Henry, but coming off an injury.
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit all of my notes on them. I mean, that's kind of seemingly the consensus with everybody right now is that they are going downward or backwards, however you want to look at it. It is weird that they trade away their star receiver and draft someone who, by the way, apparently he showed up at camp out of shape already. So that's a bad sign.
That's so awesome.
Because you have to draft a guy who is better than A.J. Brown. Same level, if not better, because they didn't want to pay him.
Yep.
And
for what it's worth, go of Julio.
For what it's worth, they did trade for Robert Woods. I know.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good player. I think he's a little bit older now. He might be 31-ish, 32, but he's still a really productive
That's
player.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he got injured in the Rams last year, so we kind of forgot about him. But before he went down, he probably was. Yeah, he's definitely number 2 to Cup, but he was a damn good number 2. So, him and Brown together, that was pretty intriguing. And then they
did that before they traded Brown.
Yeah, they traded Brown in the draft. So now they have Treylon Burks and him. Weird move to also draft a quarterback in the 3rd round when I think this is the last year of Tannehill's deal. So I guess they kind of it's their contingency plan at this point. But reports are saying that it sounds like Willis is right now 3 on the depth chart. So
nice.
It's not even
behind who?
Couldn't even tell you. I don't
wow.
know who the backup is. Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just like why would you make it like the GM of the Titans? Like why would you draft a quarterback with a 3rd round pick, like with a team that's like pretty much Super Bowl caliber, and you also ship off your star receiver and just cause a bunch of upset in the locker room? Good luck. I mean, Vrabel's a heck of a coach. So if anyone can overcome, it's him. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of red flags so far, and
I think that defense might be a little bit of a liability too.
And you mentioned Derrick Henry, beast as always. I'm never going to stop down him, but
how many more seasons can he do what he's doing?
Running backs fall off, and they fall off hard at a certain point. So it's just when's that going to happen? He's a freak of nature. Who knows? But yeah. So lots of questions with them. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an easy waltz to the division win, especially with the Colts now kind of looking like a superpower potentially. We'll get into them, but the other thing about them, the Titans, is that this seems to happen a lot where people don't give them enough credit. And
absolutely.
They prove people wrong all the time. So
that's
maybe
so true.
We should all just eat crow and shut up, and we'll be fine.
Good point. All right, moving on. You segue so nicely into the next team who finished 2nd in the division, just missed the wild card spot after losing the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Indianapolis Colts.
You got to get that in there.
Had to.
You do.
Absolutely have to. You got to remind them where they finished up last season.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
That's a great question now. I don't know what the hell his team is doing. They bring in Matt Ryan, who I'm pretty sure was around when T-Rex ruled the land. I really hated that. I thought Carson Wentz was a better option than Matt Ryan.
Oh, stop it.
Maybe Matt Ryan will prove me wrong. Maybe he won't. They still have JT, Jonathan Taylor. They still have an amazing line. Michael Pittman's coming into his gear.
What kind of take is that?
I don't like Matt Ryan. I don't like that. I don't like that.
It's going to
be maybe not a downgrade, but it's not an upgrade, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a lateral movement, which the Colts don't have time to be making lateral movements.
There's a difference with them, though. I feel like
they still have an absolutely sensational defense. They added a couple more key players to that in the offseason. But
yeah, I definitely jotted down defense is like the bedrock of this team.
Oh yeah,
100%. This 100%. Defense is nasty, and they just need the offense to to carry and the defense will carry. They need the offense just to kind of score points and win games. Yeah. But Jonathan Taylor he just exploded onto the scene last year.
Yep.
If
Phenomenal
he keeps that up, then, running game's in great shape. They also got Hines and probably some other guys behind them who are no chumps either.
Can take the load off Taylor a little bit. Yeah.
Receivers are the big question mark for me with them because
I think Michael Pittman takes a pretty big step this year. I think he's going to be one of the better wide receivers in the NFL.
He has to be that's because he's their number one. I think at this point.
I mean, is Ty still alive?
I don't think he. I think he.
You're about to say I don't think he is.
No, he. I don't think. I think he was his contract ended. I think I don't know if they brought him back.
Wow.
To be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Matt Ryan, we need to delve into this a little bit because
go ahead.
I do not agree that he is a side grade.
Okay.
I think he is a marginal upgrade.
Okay.
Because yes, he is old as dirt at this point. He's what, 37 ish around there, 36, 37. And it is kind of weird to see them blow through like Phillip Rivers and Carson Wentz. Like they've just been blasting through quarterbacks every year, and like Matt Ryan for them. I think the dude, even on the bad Atlanta teams last couple of years, he's not been the primary problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's still been a gamer on bad teams. He's still been putting up points. He's still a decent quarterback. Now he's on a really good team potentially. Like I putting him there with he's got a small window here to finally get the job done at the end of his career, and he's not as washed as Rivers was when he got here. He's not as washed as Ben Roethlisberger. He's got some juice left. It's not much, I don't think. I think maybe you get 2, maybe 3 productive years out of him, and then he probably is out of the league. But, like, he's got a shot to win a Super Bowl, a very real shot with a very good team. And, like, they're in a horrible division. This division's horrible. It's probably the worst in the league.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
I would. Are you kidding me?
NFC East?
No, NFC East is better.
Oh!
Definitely. Are you kidding
crazy.
me? Cowboys, Commanders, Eagles, 3 good teams. Giants are trash, but this division's got the Texans, it's got the Jaguars, and it's got the Titans, who are questionable in our estimation right now.
AFC West.
Yeah, total shit. But I think Ryan is a real shot here to win the Super Bowl, and I think he's going to try and capitalize on it. I think he's going to be an upgrade from Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was not bad, by the way, last year. It's total revisionist history, being like he was a awful decision for that. No, he was actually pretty good last
year. Yeah.
But he lost them some clutch moments, and he just didn't have that it factor, which is why they said bye. And Matt Ryan does have that it factor.
Matty Ice.
So
did the ice melt? Who knows? We'll see.
I think it's their best quarterback prospect since Luck has been out.
I mean, I guess I would agree with that. I was going to say this doesn't feel like as much of a lateral movement from Wentz, but does feel like a lateral movement from Rivers. Do they make the playoffs this year? I think there's a high chance they do. Do I think they make it past the first round? I don't know. Yeah, if they got to go on the road, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of been in this spot for a couple of years now. It's like your window is closing. I mean, you're not going to be able to retain this roster forever. Jonathan Taylor's not going to be a superstar running back forever in the league. Like, you need to, Darius Leonard's not going to be here forever. Quentin Nelson, you got fucking DeForest.
You got to go now.
You got stars right now. Go make it happen.
A lot of AFC teams play outside. If you're playing a playoff game on the road in January, Matt Ryan has played in a dome his entire career.
Well, he's playing in a dome now. So
yep. That's what I'm saying. All right, moving on to the team that finished third. We have the Houston Texans. I don't see much changing with this team. I don't want to spend much time talking about them. I don't really give a fuck about them. It's going to be exciting to see what Davis Mills becomes. I hope Brandon Cooks gets out of there.
You know their coaches right now?
No.
It's Lovey.
Is it really?
Lovey Smith. And he's got a fucking huge white lumberjack.
Oh, yeah. And he had that in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I love that. That's pretty cool.
I just thought it was bizarre. It was a bizarre.
That Ravens special teams coordinator lasted 1 year.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean,
and he got
with
booted.
the cards that he dealt,
He got shot out of a cannon after a good year.
They probably wanted him to lose more.
Well, the whole thing with them is that they are seemingly a cult operation. We don't really know what's going on with the front office with Nick Caserio and all those guys. I will say they handled this Watson situation pretty well.
Up until they filed the reverse suit on them. And
no, dude, they handled that well too. They literally
is it gone?
Yeah, they did what Watson should have. Well, first of all, they traded Watson for a bag. They got a total bag for Watson,
absolutely,
and they got him off their books.
Mm-hmm.
And now they can properly rebuild this team. But with the whole lawsuit thing, because now some lawsuits kind of came up towards the Texans. People are this is the same women were alleging the Texans for similar things.
Helped facilitate it. Right.
Texans did what Deshaun Watson should have done day one and said, "We're paying you all. It's done. We're done."
Wow, really?
Yep.
Now that you mention it, we have not heard another peep about it since then.
There were 30 complaints filed and 30 checks written, and it's over. It's done.
Wow.
So I think they still have some court shit to deal with because of just the nature of providing him NDAs and they knew about the activities, yada, all that stuff. Sure, but they've handled the situation since he's been gone. I would say getting him out and since he's been gone as well as you can. The David Culley thing's weird because he was a good coach. I don't know why you shot him out of a cannon after a good year. Kind of bizarre. He was a bizarre hire to begin with. So now we got Lovie Smith in there. Big question for me, though. I had this written down. It's like news re-broke, I guess, because Czar was kind of out there, but it was resurfaced again this week that Jimmy G is on the trade block.
Ugh.
And Caserio drafted him in New England. Jimmy G right now, I think they could not quite a Baker Mayfield level steal, but they could get a good trade value for him. I think he's not the most expensive. He's about 30, 29. He's still pretty young. And I mean, what other franchises right now, if you're Jimmy G, are like, we're going to pony up and we're going to make you the starting quarterback for us for the next 5 years? I mean, who? Nobody.
Seattle.
They're not going to trade with Seattle.
Which would also be stupid.
They're not going to trade with Seattle.
Like at this point, it's like, why you?
Because the Texans do crazy ass shit. Is my point. Is that they do whack ass shit, and if Nick Caserio likes Jimmy G, he's a if anything, he's a team player. He's a good looking franchise quarterback. He's 30 years old. He's on the cheap. I mean, really.
I mean, I'd fuck him.
I'd fuck him too. I mean, but.
I got a question too. Can I ask you something?
He is a legitimate option for them. The thing is that if you trade for him now, it's like he's coming into a situation like Jared Goff, where it's like it's a barren fucking wasteland.
Yeah,
roster.
I know.
But I don't know. I think it's interesting because that to me is the most feasible starting for the next 5 years situation with Jimmy G. There's nowhere else in the league.
Right, but where are the Texans going to be in 5 years? Who knows?
5 years is a long time.
Who knows? Absolutely. 5 years is a long time.
I mean, Jacksonville 5 years ago was pissed, and they're still pissed, but,
Yeah, it's like Detroit was, well, we weren't actually pissed 5 years ago. We were actually decent. But
sadly, 5 years ago was the beginning of the Matt Patricia regime.
Oh, wow.
So we weren't.
I mean, we were coming off like a 9-7 season. We weren't bad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't understand why. I don't think that you have to rush into a quarterback, get him on your team. I say take your assets
because
and
they are super hard to find. A franchise quarterback is.
I know, but you think about you think about all the talent that you have coming up in this draft. Why wouldn't you want to remain more bottom of the barrel
because
and then draft somebody, not have to pay them, and then rebuild your team through the draft, which is what they're doing.
Think about it this way. Now I'm just making an argument for this. Think about it this way. Like, you just got out of the Deshaun Watson nightmare, okay? And you see a guy who is all the things I just listed, fuckable, cheap, still pretty young, good quarterback, injury prone, yeah, but good quarterback when he's healthy. Not elite,
decent
good
quarterback.
And the main thing, though, is that he's a safe bet. If you go and roll the dice again in the draft, just try and take another ticket, figure this out again. Number one, it could fail because not every guy drafted in the first round is going to be a superstar quarterback. A lot are, but not every single one. And if I'm the Texans, I'm just thinking, let's stabilize. Let's stabilize this thing. You know what I mean? I know we're in the basement right now, but hey, we can lock him up for 5 years, and he's in for the rebuild. In 5 years, we're a competitive playoff team trying to make a Super Bowl. I mean, even less than 5 years in the NFL. It's faster than that these days, but I don't know, man. It just seems like a stable, decent option. And I'm just thinking Jimmy G. There's not a lot of options for him at this point. So
here's my one counterpoint. What is Jimmy G's kryptonite?
Injuries.
Porn stars. Everybody knows porn stars are abundant in Houston. I actually don't know that to be a fact, but I'm just saying it for the point.
So what are you guys doing tonight? I'm not for whatever.
No, we'll work it in now.
Well, yeah. Let's make our whole Houston, Texas analysis about why they should be traded for Jimmy G, even though it won't happen, and this whole thing will be null and void in about a week. But I thought I would
trade for him.
I thought I'd throw it out there. Bottom line, I'm expecting some improvement from last year, but still not very good. They got a long way to go.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Last team, Jacksonville. I'm a little excited to watch Jacksonville this year.
You know what's funny? We were talking about earlier with the helmet thing, kind of bringing it back around with the podcast. You were really hot on them last year.
Yeah, I was.
Real
man.
bricked up for this team.
I was really excited to watch them. I was eyeballing them from a mile away. And then, they turned on me real quick. They were fucking dog shit last year. Urban Meyer experiment absolutely went sideways. That was terrible. They bring in a legit coach now, Doug Peterson, Super Bowl champion.
They brought an adult into the room.
Yep. It'll be really interesting to see how that goes. There's so many questions about Doug Peterson. Like as soon as Frank Reich left, Carson Wentz was dog shit. He still is dog shit pretty much. I mean, he's not dog shit, but he's not very good.
I don't think it's a question that he is an upgrade over Urban
It
Meyer.
is 100%. No, I'm saying he is an upgrade 100%. I'm not saying that is a question.
You know what I've written down?
What do you got?
Well, first of all, they had a super bizarro free agency where they decided to just throw a ton of money at a bunch of players over market value. Which
honestly, they did that last year too.
I know, but if you're a bad team, it's just what you got to do. But the note I've written down, because it's funny you say they did that last year, is that this year is going to be what last year should have been. That's what this is going to be, hopefully for them. It's going to be like they have a potentially superstar quarterback. They've got a bunch of free agents that they bought. Yeah. They have a competent, could be great head coach.
Yeah.
Won a Super Bowl, could be great. They got an intriguing backfield.
Yeah.
Intriguing receivers. I think their offensive line's kind of dog duke, but I don't
think they have a very bad defense either.
For them, it's like I think last year they were really hoping to just take a step. They added all this talent, this injection of talent, and it's like, let's go from the number one overall pick to better.
Playoffs.
Playoffs
obviously is the ceiling.
Yeah, but it's crazy to think that. But yeah, so I think they wanted to take a big step forward. They took I want to say sidestep, but it wasn't. It was a step back because the coaching was awful. Lawrence looked straight up bad for a lot of the season, and the team picked number one again. So they regressed, if anything. And at this point, I think they're just like, all right, let's restart this thing. Let's try this again. Yeah. And I am a believer that Doug Peterson's going to get a lot out of Trevor Lawrence. I think that he's going to have a turnaround.
We can only hope.
I think everyone's pretty hot on the Zach Wilson train, him turned around. I'm more hot on the Trevor Lawrence train than him turned around.
Zach Wilson's in the news crazy.
We talking about that.
Yeah, I know. And is it for the right reason? A lot of people will say yes. Is it for the wrong reason? I'm sure a lot of people will say no. I want Trevor Lawrence to really succeed because he's just overall a great guy. He's at least in the media's
character guy.
He seems like a wonderful human being. So you root for those kind of people to succeed.
I'm rooting for Jaguars fans.
Yeah,
we're Lions fans. We can relate.
We get it.
We understand.
Zach Wilson. Is he a Mormon?
I have no idea.
Don't you have to play at BYU?
Who?
If he isn't, then I think, or if he is, I think he broke some rules. I don't think you're allowed to do that. I don't know.
Shall we? This is running a little long. Shall we get into the record predictions for the AFC South?
Absolutely. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first. This is barring a non-Jimmy G trade.
Yep.
At number 4, I have the Houston Texans finishing 1-16.
Wow.
I have them.
Wow.
Right now, they're the worst team in the league.
Okay.
You want me to keep going? This small? Number 3, this might shock you. I'm going to have the Tennessee Titans.
Wow.
5-12.
Holy shit.
I think they take a step back. Their schedule's the end of their schedule's
very
brutal.
Tough.
It's a tough schedule, and if they don't come out hot, the second half of the season is not going to be fun for them. I have them regressing big time. Tannehill's out, and the Tannehill era. I think their quarterback they select in the draft is going to be a bust. I think this whole thing is going to be a roller coaster of a year for them. Just going off of my instincts right now.
Mm-hmm.
Second place, I do have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'd hope so.
6-11.
Okay.
So a little bit better, and
not that big of an improvement, but an improvement.
For them, that's a big improvement.
Yep, that's true.
They're not competing for a playoff spot, but there's lots more bright spots. Trevor Lawrence looks like, okay, there's something here, and then they go from there. And the division winner, the Indianapolis Colts, at 11-6 is what I have them.
All right.
Decently tough schedule, but lots of winnable games.
Yep,
and
absolutely. Coming in fourth place, I had the Jacksonville Jaguars going 5-12. Following them, I had the Houston Texans going 6-11. I think those
6 wins.
I think they'll surprise you, Al. They churned out a couple big ones last year.
Their roster is atrocious. It's just so bad.
It was last year. Coming in second place and making the wild card, Indianapolis Colts at 10-7. And finally, I had the Tennessee Titans regressing, but not as big as you had them at 11-6.
That's pretty good. I mean, I'm just showing massive disrespect for the Titans. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year.
And this is exactly what they do to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
well, got to spice it up. What do you want from me?